Hey everyone. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Outstanding. Mm. Chili cheese dog. That's a foot long. It's good. This is good too. It's it's a cherry limeade. I think they actually put like a real like half a lime wedge in there. Not even a wedge, a whole half a lime. I think it's a wedge if it's a smaller one, but it was like a half a lime in there, I think. And then, hey Ben. And then we got dessert. It's crushed ice. So it's a drink, but it's just it's crushed ice. That's why. I do that because it's one of those drinks where they use like a pump syrup for like the cherry flavoring. So I do this so it doesn't just like fall to the bottom all the time. It is good. I'm sorry to hear about your sickness, though. Hope you get better. Sounds like stomach virus. Hope you get better. Sometimes the flu can do that, though. Hmm. No, that's it. Guess that was for my hot dog. Didn't need that. Mm. I mean, it's not like a steak dinner or anything. See, the problem with rating is like I'm not like comparing it to like a steak dinner or anything, you know what I mean? That's the problem with rating. But like based on other fast food, it's pushing 9 status. It's pushing 9 status. That's really good. All of it. All of it's good. About a 9. Out of 10. Because like ice cream is really good too. Chili cheese dog, I polished that off so quick. This is good too. They didn't like add too much flavoring or not enough. It tastes exactly right. This is really good too. Yeah, I mean, what else can I say? It's fast food. But I mean, it's good. It's pretty close to like food truck quality. Pretty close to that. Food truck quality is good though. Like you can get some really good stuff out of food truck. I mean, it's close to that. It's really good. It's fresh. Like that's the big thing is like almost anything's good if it's fresh. You know, you know what I mean? Like even fast food. But that's just it. Like most people don't realize how fast food works. I think. Because if they did, and fast food A lot of places anyway, not some places, but a lot of places. The fast food, the food that you're eating, sits in little plastic trays in a heated cabinet. And it has timers. And when the timers go off, they just ignore them. They don't, because it's waste. And it's expensive. So if you actually got, your beef and your chicken when it was fresh, every time, it would be so good. It would be so good. Trust me. I was planning to make it myself, but I'd make everything fresh. Every time I did, it was just even down to like the iced coffee, and like if they brew tea or something like that, like even down to that stuff. When I would do it myself, and I'd do it fresh, clean containers, fresh everything, it was just dramatically different, dramatically better than going through a drive-through and just ordering one. Dramatically. What you have to realize is when the ice cream machine is down, everybody's like, oh, why is it always down? Why is it always down? It's actually the one time I'll back them up. So, not the one time, one of the few, I should say. So, with these soft serve machines, they are very expensive. They are very specific. And what happens is you get these soft serve machines that go through a process. You're just putting a bag of like milk product in this machine, and it turns it into ice cream. So it's a very expensive machine. It's to do that, And so at the end of, the closing day, it goes through this heated process where it cleans it. And in order for it to properly be cleaned, you must take it apart and clean it each night for it to properly do that. So what happens is they'll take it apart, and there's these little parts that are even like yay big. These tiny little things, sometimes with little fittings. They go in there. There's a bunch of them. And no lie, even like in the thing where like the milk goes and all the ice cream, when you take all that out and you drain it out, there's like a thing that spins in there, and there's other little parts inside that too. Like it really is very technical. There's a lot of parts to this. So no lie, here's what happens. They take it apart, and it's truthfully just to clean it every night, and they're not lying about that. And it really is down a lot, because the point is they're trying to stagger when they take it down based on their peak period. So they don't want it to go into heat mode, obviously, during a peak period during dinner time. They don't want that. So right after dinner time, pretty much. It goes into a heat mode, and once it goes into that, they're like, the machine's down. That's why, because it really is. Once it's in heat mode, it's liquid. You can't get you ice cream. That stuff's gonna come shooting out of there at like 50, 60 miles an hour, you know? So that's the point. They break the machine down and they take the parts back to the sink. Here's where the machine starts to break down a lot, okay? It's not really broken down. Here's what happens. The overnight person usually doesn't really care very much. Let's be honest. It's an overnight worker. They do what they do. Let's be honest. Overnight's pretty tough. All right. A lot of folks struggle with it. They don't really want to do it. You either like it or you don't. So you get an overnight worker that's a dishwasher, and they have these sinks. It's very easy if there's a full sink of something and you're putting dishes in there, like those little tiny little parts that are yay big, and then you drain the sink and that part's in there. That part just went down that sink. Now they gotta wait like 3 weeks for them to special order this little tiny part out of a little book thing from this company that makes this machine, and who knows how long that's gonna take. And so, truthfully, that's what happens, guys. It really, there's no mystery behind it. It's not like some big conspiracy. Oh, why is it always down? That's why. There's 2 reasons. Yes, it does go into a heating mode for cleaning. It does get broken down for cleaning. The problem is when the next day you come back and it's still down, that's why. Somebody lost a part. They can't get it back together because it is very complicated, and maybe there's a new manager or something like that. That's why, you know, they probably only should have managers breaking that stuff down and only having managers having their eyes on it and stuff, because that stuff's expensive. And I do agree with those rules, and that's important. But it's a shame they can't streamline that process better and come up with a better working machine that has bigger parts and just less working parts, if that makes sense. Because here's the truth of it. Sometimes even that little plastic part has a little rubber washer on it, and the little rubber washer comes off. You still can't use it now just because of a little tiny rubber washer. Like, what the? You know, like it looks like a little black rubber band. You know what I'm talking about? No lie. It's like, this isn't better than this. So you guys can't appreciate how tough it actually is for those workers, and like you don't get paid very much. You also can't like the health department and stuff is really like adamant about ready to eat food. So like fast food places aren't actually supposed to have sandwiches out and stuff like that too much, like ready for you to eat, like just sitting out. Because is there an expiration date on said sandwich? No, in these fast food places, do you get a sandwich in your bag when it comes to the drive-thru? Does it have an expiration date on it? Does it have anything written on it that says, at this time it expires? No. When you go to a gas station, do the sandwiches that are sitting out have little expiration dates on them? Yeah. So there's a little bit of a difference, and that would be why. Because a lot of times the fast food places get away with just like sort of making too much food on purpose, and then you just get a sandwich that's just been sitting there. And that's why they're not really supposed to do that, because there's no expiration date on that. It's just sitting there. And there's bread, there's lettuce, there's tomato. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, nah. So, that's why they try to prepare the meat ahead of time and get it in a heated cabinet. But the point is, it's supposed to have little timers on it, and they beep, That's why you hear a million things beeping when you go into a fast food place. Because not only are the fries beeping and all that stuff, the oil vats, that's what you hear beeping. The stuff's coming up, like chicken nuggets, whatever. That stuff's the stuff that's beeping, the fries and all that stuff. But you're also going to hear a million things beeping. Do the grills use clams? Or are they flipping burgers? A lot of places use clams anymore, and you're going to hear those beep. Those have timers. The cabinets, like I said, that have the heated trays, those have timers. It's the sort of thing where everything beeps, everything has a timer, and everything sounds different on purpose, so that you can distinguish all of the different timers. So they just don't. Part of the issue is that a lot of stores that are fast food stores deal with an issue of not understanding how to cut hours or cut wages and stuff like that based on business that you're doing, based on like how much you're taking in, based on sales. And then at the same time, they'll make a whole bunch of food and then just waste it and throw it away because it was sitting in the cabinet because they thought maybe they were going to do, more than they did. The projections were higher or something like that. And then they threw food away. So obviously, like, it comes down to understanding that a lot of these places really are bad in the sense that not only are you getting old food, but now if you're getting old food, understand they're probably throwing a lot of it away too. And so, like, you have to accept the fact that customers are going to become irritated, and you're just going to have to deal with it. They're going to have to wait. It's that simple. They're going to have to wait for food and just deal with it. And the folks at the restaurants can't become angry and upset at employees and point fingers, and like that shouldn't play any part of that business, because like it's a regular thing to be understanding of the fact that, okay, we didn't have enough food. It is what it is. I mean, we have drive-throughs, we got a dining room. Like, the point is, a lot of people go to these places and expect the food quickly. So this is just going to be a pretty regular thing that they're going to run out of food. But remember, it's fast food. So the most you're probably going to wait is like 5-7 minutes. And people have like this misconstrued version of time when they're in a drive-through. Like, they think they've waited like 20 minutes, a half. They really haven't. They really aren't looking at the time on the receipt. They're not doing any of that. It's the sort of thing where have you ever been told to park in a drive-through? Like, you get up to the window. And I even heard a radio talk show person talk about how a disc jockey talk about how he doesn't like being parked in a drive-through because he feels like he's already waited long enough, and then you're parking him. Oh, great! Now how long is he going to wait? So here's what I want you to realize about that. What I want you to realize about that is if they're parking you, it means they have the order for the car behind you. That's all that means. It does not mean that you're getting your food any slower. It literally doesn't mean that at all. They're not going to forget about you. In fact, that order is still on the screen ticking down, and they really don't want it to be in there. No, if anything, by you parking and accepting this, and in good faith accepting this, what's going to happen is you're probably going to get your food faster. If you don't park and you give them a problem, actually it might be slower. Yeah, because through the miscommunication of you not parking and then them telling a manager that you're not moving and yada yada yada, you might actually get it slower. Yeah, just because, like, it not how dare you not park or anything like that. No, just because of that. That's all. It just causes a miscommunication. Well, didn't you tell them to park? Well, I did, but they're not parking. What do you mean they're not parking? They don't want to park. They're telling me they're not moving. And then it's just like, okay, so now the whole drive-through is held up because this one person is upset that, yeah, you mean like it's really not that big a deal. And so just realize that, and I mean, like, I can understand somebody's already waited a whole bunch, like you really have waited 20 minutes or whatever, and then they park. I get it. I do. I get it. And then I also want to state that I think it's really stupid if a business like that has a drive-through that you can't leave. Like you're trapped. That should never have. That should be a fire marshal. Like the fire marshals should be doing their jobs better. The fact that me sitting here right now can tell you that's a massive fire hazard. To have cars just randomly trapped or wrapped around a building, that tells me that the fire marshal isn't up to par on what he thinks is proper code for some of these places. Because I got news for you, grease fire ain't messing around, man. And not only that, think about how many other flammable things going on in that building with the cars wrapped around it. So I just, I just wanted to state that there's been times where the drive-through had an issue. No lie, this one time, as much as I love Taco Bell, this one time, no lie, when they first opened this Taco Bell, I waited 45 minutes. I'm not making that up. Literally 45 minutes. I wouldn't just say that. And obviously I wasn't happy. Like 45 minutes. I would have just left if I could have. Yeah, I would have literally just left if I could have, but I couldn't. I was trapped. So, that sucked. Yeah, I wouldn't have. I didn't want to give them an issue or anything like that because they were new store, new employees. I was trying to be completely understanding. They're probably shorthanded. Probably had people quit. Yeah, it happens. But man, 45 minutes. I don't know what you got to do, but that's just like you may as well close the store. Like 45 minutes. Like I'm going to Outback or something. Like I'll already be eating. I'll cook you a steak in less than that. So just say I'm just saying. Nothing rude. Just literally just saying. I have a lot I could say about that stuff. I really, really do, but the message is realize that when you've ordered food and you're in a drive-thru and you're in your own car in your own comfort and you want to like get moving and you're used to moving while you're in your car, you're used to things moving fast, realize that you're going to be, because this is the place where you normally feel impatient, you're going to have a tendency to feel a little bit impatient at times just because you are sitting in this. Does that make sense? It is probably the time in your life when you feel the most impatient. I think for most people anyway. Anybody that drives and stuff like that and has to deal with like regular traffic and stuff. I think that's fair to say that. I mean, certainly everybody handles it differently. But you know what I mean, like, you guys get what I'm saying. So just remember, to try to be patient with stuff like that. I mean, flat out when I pulled up here, I saw one employee doing everything. So the other employee's probably just trying to close down the store and make sure that they're good while the other employee works, fills orders, and hey, whatever works, right? Yeah. Yeah, whatever works. It was good. Man, that was good. Yeah, the massive quantity of stories that I have just rolling around in my brain from all the years. um, I remember. I don't. It's not like I speak like fluent Spanish or anything like that, but there was this one Mexican guy that used to come through, and he did not. His accent was so thick, like it was really hard to understand him. And I tried, like I was always like trying to be super polite, you know. Obviously, I just like, you know, I'm sorry. Could you say that again? I'm really sorry. Could you say that again? You know, like I feel really bad. And then eventually I learned what his order was. He would order the same thing every time. And eventually I just learned what it was. So like eventually he'd come through and I'd recognize his voice. And I'd just start putting it on the screen. And then like they had the digital screens. So he would say it, but I'd be like, you know, is your order correct, you know, or something like that. And then he would answer yes, you know. So like that's the point, is like, even though I had a tough time, you know, between the speaker and the loudness of the road, it was a very busy road we were on, and then at the same time the thick accent, it was really tough. It was really just the loudness of it. It really was, because I think he had a loud vehicle too, so it's just like everything, you know. So yeah, like I said, I eventually just learned his order. It was pretty easy, but the issue was that he would get a large coffee, and he would like get so freaking much creamer and sugar in it. Like I know all right, so I order mine. I take mine with a bunch of sugar too, but like literally like halfway filled with milk, basically. It was so funny. That's how he wanted it every day. It was funny though. And it's like there's no way this is even hot anymore, you know? It's just cold milk. Oh, I couldn't stand that when somebody would come through and then get like 12 creamers. They'd be like, "Oh, give me 12." They want that many. So you put 12 creamers worth of milk in their coffee, and then they complain that their coffee's not hot anymore. They're like, "It's not hot." I just it was ridiculous, man. The burger I got earlier, like, disappointing. It was disappointing. I have something in my eye, man. It was disappointing. Something in my eye. Pretty nice night. It's actually fairly cold, but it's nice and calm. I expected to see more cars on Saturday night. They're all at the bar already. So, you guys, should we get to a stream tonight or what? I'm not like super tired or anything for some reason. Like normal, the funny thing is normally I am, but I'm like physically, like I was moving so much freaking furniture today, it's not even funny. But like, the interesting thing is I'm not like super tired or anything. So should we get to a stream tonight? I really, 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 really want to play this DLC. This Castlevania DLC. I really want to play that. There's some other stuff I really want to play too. I'm like that. Does anybody else have like that friend where like they'll play a game for 10 minutes? They'll come back to it, like they'll finish it. But they'll play a game for like, not 10 minutes, maybe like 20 minutes, half hour. Put it down, start playing another game. Play it for like maybe like 2 hours. Then go back to the other one that they were playing for like a half hour. Play it for another half hour. Yeah, I mean, because you like get some games a little more than others, you know? So, you know, just play a little bit, play something else. That's what I do. I'm that guy. Because I feel like there's so many games out there that don't... I feel almost bored. Does that make sense? Like, not that it's a bad game, but almost like, yeah, like there's not enough content anymore in these games where I just feel like I want to be sucked in and keep playing. Unless we're talking like WoW or something like that, because that would probably still happen if I was playing WoW. But yeah, I mean, like that's a little different, you know what I mean? Like that's endless. So, that's why I love that game. That's why like it's always been my top, you know, like I can just go in it. I just go into it. And endless. I literally, like, I don't have to go to another game. I don't have to do anything else. If I'm bored with what I'm doing in the game, I'll simply do something else in the game. Like, that's why, like, I know it's so cliche, and that's why I don't say WoW is my favorite, because, like, it just sounds cliche. It sounds like that, but it's the truth. Like, and I actually have said that before, because, like, I'll say it sort of like, you mean other than WoW? Somebody will be like, what's your favorite game, or what's your favorite game franchise? And I'll be like, you mean other than WoW? Other than World of Warcraft? Because that's definitely the game I have the most time in out of, hands down, any other game I've ever played. I mean, it's just the truth. It seems cliche to say just because, like, I don't have as much to show for it as others. Like, for example, like Asmund, you know. The point is, I was never somebody that sat there and did achievements. It's literally that simple. So, like, as I don't have as much to show for it as you know, somebody else that sat there and did achievements. I did questing. That's what I did. I love the open world. I did professions too. I did crafting and stuff like that. Herbalism, alchemy, gathering professions are fun, but I also like the like I said, alchemy was really fun too. I've done plenty of stuff in the game. I mean, like, I was raid ready once ever. I don't really typically like doing raids. I like doing them by myself. So, like, you know, when it's like, okay, that was 2 expansions ago. Now I can finally solo this, right? Yeah, basically. Or if you're, you know, you don't have crap gear, you could probably still solo it. It's the previous, but you better have some good gear, right? Yeah. For me, I like I said, I never really did raids. I was only raid ready that one time, and yeah, that was the experience. Was like, oh, okay, all right. So yeah, now I understand. Is the gear really is that much better when you do that stuff? Unless you're just insane at PvP. I don't really play an insane PvP class though. That's the issue. I don't play rogue. I play pally. I do play pally. So all right. So there's that. I play Death Knight too. So, but not any like with Death Knight anymore, like, I don't know, it's just not like it used to be. If you did PvP anyway, that's all. If you did PvP. Death Knight still freaking owns with tanking though. I love Death Knight tanks. My blood DK. It's my main. You guys know that's my main. I actually used to main a druid for the longest time, and then I switched to a blood DK. I'll probably switch back to the druid at some point. I don't know. I just switch once in a while, focus on, like sort of one main for a while. But part of the reason for that was because I just decided, since I play the game for like the questing and the world and stuff like that, I just decided to start like working on my Alliance characters, because I hadn't really played Alliance that much. I really just played pretty much the whole game as Horde, because if you knew anybody that was playing the game, everybody was Horde. That's it. And that was why I originally started playing the game a while back, was just because there were so many people that I knew that were playing the game originally that like, it was pretty much just like you just had to. Like, everybody around me was playing it. Everybody was always playing it, and I was like, all right, I guess I better start playing this thing. And I just kept talking about it. And, I originally actually started playing it on a trial account and stuff like that before I actually fully signed up on my own. And I didn't play a ton at first. I only got raid ready at the very end of Lich King. And the reason why I stopped was because that was when they took talent trees out, and that really made me mad. Because I sat there and worked really hard on a really cool custom build, and then they just like took them out, and none of my stuff worked anymore, and I couldn't even do DPS. Like, I just sucked with DPS as Feral Druid, and that was my main, so I had to switch to Restoration. So like I was raid ready with Restoration, and I didn't care for it. I just didn't. Like, I could do it. It was easy because it's Resto Druid. I mean, come on. But yeah, it's just literally stacking your DOS. It's literally it's so easy. But like, I just didn't like it as. Basically, anytime something goes wrong, somebody's just gonna blame the healer, even when it's not the healer's fault. Now, not that I won't make mistakes and own up for it, but as we all know, some tanks have some egos and like to think that they can tank everything themselves and like to pull entirely too much. So we'll just leave it at that. But I love Battlegrounds. I did do quite a fair amount of Battlegrounds. And the funny thing is, that's why I have so many like random characters that are like random levels. That's why. Because I would just make a character, and once I got to, isn't it level 10? Once I got to level 10, literally just start doing Battlegrounds. And then I just would get addicted to Battlegrounds for a while and just have so much fun doing Battlegrounds. And then make another character or something, maybe a new class would come out, make another character or something, and this process starts over. Because Battlegrounds are really fun, I think, when you're leveling, because obviously, like, when you're higher in level and you're closer to cap and stuff like that, like, it's more like, obviously higher tier, and people are more serious about it. And like, that's for me, like, that's where I'm like, okay, like, I just want to have fun. I don't want
See, this is where I am. Like Asmongold, like he's kind of like this too, where it's like he claims like how he doesn't like anybody that takes themselves too seriously, but then at the same time, he's playing a video game and he gets so mad when like people make a mistake or something like that, and it's like, dude, it's a video game. Like, please stop. You know what I mean? Like, so, it's the sort of thing where, like, if I make a mistake or something like that, and you actually help me and tell me why, or, something like that, and I mess up a second time, that doesn't, like, give you a right to, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like people don't understand how this works. I feel like people, like, expect you to, so you know how it's lost in translation sometimes. You like sit there and they're trying to type out a response for you to understand what they're talking about, and maybe you understand it, maybe you don't, because again, this is up to them to type something in the chat box that you can understand, fully grasp, and then make the adjustment the first try, because again, you messed up. So the point is, now you have to relearn what you supposedly messed up on in this person's opinion for this supposed raid or whatever. And then you have to adjust in the way they want you to, based on the little chat box that they sent you in chat, and have to make sure that it's right. And maybe they're not very literate. Maybe they kind of suck at typing or something like that too, or just have a bunch of errors and expect you to get it, or abbreviate things and expect you to know the terms or something like that. Or maybe, like, for some strange reason you spec a different way and you don't have this one ability or something like that, and then you announce that you don't have that or something like that, and then like they literally they're like, you don't know how to play the game. You don't know how to play the game. Like, I have been through this. I've been through so many, like, scenarios like that where people just immediately start being so messed up and, like, jumping down your throat. Just stop playing the game. May as well just stop playing the game. Like, that's what they'll say, like, things like that. It's like, yeah, thanks for being so welcoming. I haven't been, like, part of the community, since freaking Burning Crusade or anything. But yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. Thank you. It's incredible how bad the community is and unwelcoming they are. It is absolutely incredible. So that's the issue is like, I love that game, but as much as I love it, yeah, that's what you get, with an online game with all these different systems that is very complicated, and it is top level difficulty. I mean, that game is difficult. It's literally that simple. To say it isn't, well, okay, you're not very smart then if you think that game's not difficult, because it is. It's one of the more difficult games to play, period, end of discussion. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. The thing that makes people say it's not is the people that have literally been playing it their whole lives, that's all they do, they know it in and out. Oh, it's so easy. Yeah, because you've been playing it for freaking ever. Stop trying to claim it's easy when you know flat out it's not. And so, like, it's the sort of thing where it's such a massive game and there's so much going on that, like, there could be something that you've never done. Maybe you play the game forever, so since the beginning, but you've never done this, so you don't have a freaking clue at all how to do it. And then people jump down your throat when you just don't know how to do something or something like that. They're like, oh, why'd you start playing? Why'd you start playing? So, it's terrible. It really is. And this definitely causes people to not play and stuff like that. And Blizzard picked up on this. That's why they put a lot of tips and helpers in the game. And it definitely made things better, I think, for new players. I will say, I think the new player experience is actually a lot better these days than it used to be. I really think it is. Because you do have choices of, like, having that. Because before you didn't really get a tutorial. You really didn't. I mean, sort of. The starting area was your tutorial, though. You know what I mean? Like, you would go through, spell training or whatever, like the training dummy. Um, it's the sort of thing where, like, why would you... But the point is, it got so far into it that starting all those expansions after the fact. I mean, we were at this is gonna be 120. The level was the level cap, so that's why they went and halved it instead, to reduce it again. Because if you guys remember, it went back to what it started at. Back to 60, so that way when the expansion came out, it was 70, so that way they could sort of do a little bit of a reset, so that way the new player experience was a bit better. And again, like, all those things added up, I think that's smart. The thing that I really liked too that they did was exactly what I explained earlier, where, like, something would be missing from my hotbar. Here's what would happen. I don't play for a while, and they'll change something, they'll take something out or adjust something, and then because of this, it makes a new ability pop up or something like that. And I'll go back to the game and we'll never realize it, and it's just there. So they finally added something where it puts a glow around the box, if you don't have it. And I'm so glad that they did that, because I'm not somebody that doesn't look at my talent tree. Like, you go back to the game, you're gonna have to set your talents sometimes. I mean, like, I already know this, so why wouldn't I look at my talents? Like, that's the point. I have to reset my talents. I gotta go in there and relearn my rotation. Every time I come back to the game, I gotta go, oh, okay, that's what I was doing with that. That's right, okay. Oh, that's why I had that combination that way. That's right. I started with 3 instead of 1, so that way I go 3, 4, 5, and then come back to 1, 2, because that makes it easier for when I hit this button, yada, yada, yada. Every rotation's different for each player, each character you have. You're going to probably do it a little bit different. I don't know. Maybe some of you don't even do all that, and you just, really, really just make the game play by itself. I don't know. But I actually play the game, and I do my rotation, and there really is a lot to do sometimes, and you spend half hour to an hour fixing things up the way you want it just because you're coming back to the game. So it's really nice that they will get you caught up and put the little glow around there if there's something new and stuff like that. I appreciate that. That's always nice. Yeah, because how else are you going to know? You're just going to expect it to be the same. You don't think about it. I'm going to get a string going. When should we game? What should we stream? Like I said, I like that DLC. I'm just always looking for something exciting. You know what I mean? The next thing. limeade. Gotta finish my cherry limeade. 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 Limeade. Cherry limeade. Cherry limeade. Oh yeah. Can you imagine if that song existed? Could you imagine it? Just imagine it. It's like some badass chunky riff. Cherry limeade. Limeade. Cherry limeade. Limeade. No! It's a bunny! There's a bunny in the road! Ah! Get out of the road, bunny rabbit! I think I missed him. I think I missed him. I don't think I hit him. I think I missed him. Cherry limeade. Cherry limeade. Oh yeah. Throw away my trash. Cherry limeade, cherry limeade. Oh yeah. Cherry limeade. I'm gonna throw away my bag from earlier. There's a trash can. Cherry limeade. Limeade. Cherry limeade. It would have been faster, but the self-checkout register is like frozen. So I had to tell somebody about it. This funny. I love these. Love them. America. 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 Fuck yeah! See ya. You know, I started watching some George Carlin lately. Again. Because George Carlin's amazing. And I realized that a lot of like what I talk about and say and agree with is pretty much like exactly on par with what George Carlin said and talked about. Pretty much exactly. Pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, he was right. Everybody knew it at the time, too. They're like, yeah, he's not wrong. Like, George Carlin was one of those dudes, like, sort of like Lewis Black, sort of, but yeah, just he made comedy out of literally being truthful, like just literally making fun of the truth, you know? So, this isn't like shaped this way on purpose. This is what you get. I know some people like it. I think some people wanted me to grow it out, so that's why I did, but I don't, it's itchy, and not only that, but like, I want you guys to realize this is it. I had pretty bad acne when I was younger, so I don't really get it very full here. Like, it is there, but this is like I haven't shaved at all in like several days. Yeah, like 3 maybe. Like at all. Maybe 4. It might even be 4 days. Like just solid, just not shaving. So like that's the point. Like it doesn't really fill in. That's why I never really, and it's itchy and uncomfortable most of the time. I mean, I trim it on the neck, obviously. It would look really terrible, but nowhere else. So yeah, this is what you get. It's not like I decided this. No, I would just grow it. That's the point. This is it. So, yep. Like I said, I had really bad acne, and it was conveniently. So, Yeah, instead of growing facial hair pores there, I just got tons of pimples when I was younger. True story. I probably would have won most acne contests. Probably. No, I was definitely a kid with it like all up and down. It was all up in my eyes. It was on my forehead and everything. Yep, lots of it. Lots and lots. Oh, why'd you get rid of it? Less. Less. That's how. I discovered that I was putting my face on my hands a lot. Not washing my hands enough then when I was younger too. So then you're putting your hands on your face. Wearing too much hair gel, which if it rains even a little bit of moisture, it starts to melt and fall down the face and then gets pimples all along here. And conveniently I'd have a line of pimples. It's like, oh gee, I wonder where that's from. So I was just irritated. Believe it or not, acne medication made it worse. And so I just stopped using it. It literally irritated it. I'd put it on and it would freaking hurt and it would be like all red and swollen and shit. I'm like, why would I use this crap? And then you look at the back and it's like, and it's like peroxide and shit like that. And it's like, yeah, thinking about what acne actually is. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you put alcohol or peroxide on a cut? I'm talking like, yeah, like back in the 60s and 70s they used to do that because they have freaking Neosporin. Maybe. Or it was, you know what I mean? Like, when did Neosporin come out? Like, that's the point. They probably did that, like, back then, but, like, we have Neosporin. Yeah, we have better topical solutions for these things now. I actually started figuring out when I had, like, a real bad shiner, tiny little dot of Neosporin actually would make it go away by the next day. Literally, no lie. The next day, I would put a little dot right on the bad one. Just a tiny little dot. Gone. You know what I found out? The fragrances and all of the crap in the shampoo and the hair gel that I was using. Because I was using dollar store crap shampoo too. It was just washing all my face, getting all in my face and stuff. And in addition to the hair gel, I was starting to shave too, trying different types of I was just putting so much junk on my face. And it's just like, it's the sort of thing where it's like, well, some people naturally have just perfect skin and they can just do that and it's fine. But if you have generally irritated skin, very white skin, very susceptible to things, you know, yeah, it's going to get irritated, obviously. So you have to treat it nicely, and less is more. So yeah, I started realizing, don't rub soap on my face. Like when I take a shower or something like that, when I wash my hair, I should use a shampoo that has less fragrances and isn't irritated of the skin. But as I wash my hair and the shampoo runs down my face and stuff like that, that's enough. Like, I don't need to be sitting here going like this and smearing crap in my pores and yada, yada, yada. And then, you know, at the end of my shower, I stand there for a good minute and just, you know, get my whole face, you know, literally just under the shower, hot water, just on the face. To just get all that dirt out of the pores. And that's it. Towel dry. You know, don't push it hard, just towel dry, dab, dab, dab. Don't put crap in your hair. Don't spray hairspray everywhere. Don't freaking put mousse in your hair. Don't do anything where water or moisture makes it trickle onto your face. And don't be doing this. Don't be... No. That's it. That's all it is. It's a lot. And then, you know, obviously at the same time, it's hormones too. Like you're younger and stuff like that. So like, you know, that stuff's happening, and hence, you know, obviously the more prominent, you know, period in your life where you're susceptible to acne and stuff. I get it, but in addition to that, that's why it's becoming irritated. That's why, like, there's all these factors that go into it. So just realize less is more, and you really don't want to be, like, somebody tells you to smear, like, this thing on your face or something. Don't do that. Less is more. Don't put crap. It's a gimmick. Why would you put shit on your face? Yeah, I mean, like, that's the point. What do you think a pimple is? Something, dirt, is now embedded in that skin. Dirt, just crap. Okay? So I get it that, like, you want to open that pore up, but why would you then go and, like, use a little pad to rub it in? And then, like, you're rubbing chemical on that and stuff like that, so then as you're rubbing it in, it's opening up, you're just smearing this peroxide or whatever it is into the open, and it's just inflaming it. I've never understood. What? No. What? Always made it worse for me. Always. Yeah, the thing that made it go away, literally, was the stopping the use of any hair products that wasn't a beeswax or a pomade, because it just washes out. It doesn't get into the skin. You get what I'm saying? And then something that's like good for the skin, like a Vino shampoo or something like that, that's like not as much fragrance and stuff. You really just want to be conscious of your skin when you have acne. Yeah, it's not that complicated, but a lot of these companies try to take advantage of people with health issues. Over the years, that is what some of these companies have done with toothpaste, with shampoo, with all kinds of stuff, into tricking you to think, oh, this is going to cure my whatever. This is going to yada, yada, yada. No, it's not. If anything, you're better off without it. Acne goes away. They're trying to prey on the desperate teenager that wants to look good for his photos. You know what I mean? Like it really is the sort of thing where you're way better off taking like an oatmeal bath, or trying to figure out, you know, essentially what the irritant is. What is causing the irritation on your face? Do you have long hair? If you have long hair, I'm telling you, tie your hair back. I'm telling you. Do you have long hair and play sports? Don't have long hair and play sports. I'm telling you. Just don't do it. You want to grow your hair out? Don't play sports. If you have acne. If you have acne. If you don't have acne, you're fine. But I'm telling you right now, that sweat and that salt gets on your hair, gets on your face. And it's just going to sit against your face because it's on your hair. Guess what? Yep, you guessed it. Your own hair is causing your acne. And that's for a lot of people. A lot of people have oily hair and stuff like that when they're younger. Yeah, that's just body chemistry. So you touch your hair, then you touch your face, yada yada yada. You can put two and two together. I wonder how many people use a hand towel in the bathroom, and then like maybe they wash their face, and then without thinking about it, they use the hand towel to dry their face. Do you know how much bacteria is sitting on that hand towel that you just dried your face with? It's fine for drying your hands, but you realize that like it's different bacteria and it's different stuff and it's different particles. It's the sort of thing that shouldn't be against sensitive skin. It's not going to give you an infection unless you have like a really dirty hand towel or something, but you have to realize that hand towel is a hand towel. And put it against your face. So just like there's all kinds of things that people just sort of kind of do throughout the day, I think, and don't think about it, especially teenagers, because they don't know any better. So that's one of those things. Can I be Frank too? Okay, can I still be Garth? What you wanna remember too is when teenagers brush their teeth, they use entirely too much toothpaste and they spit everywhere. Do you ever see like the white shit on the mirror? Okay, when they spit their toothpaste out, do you think it goes all over their cheeks and their face too? Do you think they get dabs, little spots? Yeah. How often do you think they simply just get bacteria and crap on their face and they don't realize, no, that's acne. It's literally that simple. So, I mean, it just takes having the gene, the genetic code to have acne. You know? And then you just trigger it, that's it. Triggering that, I mean, that's, you can chalk that up to, like I said, any one of those. Long hair, that would do it. Hair brushing against the face. I mean, I flat out did. I had to cut my hair off too. Yeah. I had hair past my shoulders at one point. That's something I had to do. I just discovered, you know, like basically really nothing should be going on my face because I have sensitive skin on my face. That's it. You know what I mean? That's it. And I'm not gonna like suddenly make the skin on my face less sensitive. You know, you know, that's not gonna happen. It's just like the whole baldness thing. Like, baldness is a genetic thing. It does run in genetics. It's the sort of thing where, like, yeah, all right, like if you had a parent that's bald or something like that, you know, you have that chance too, for sure. But you also have to realize, like, you have to not always, but you can trigger it too, and you can trigger it sooner. So like you just wear a hat all the time. Like if you literally just wear a hat like all the time, and you're one of those people that has a parent with baldness, stop wearing a fucking hat all the time. Stop doing it. Literally stop right now. You'll thank me, because you'll probably go bald a lot later in your life. Same thing with receding hairline. take a look at where it's starting. Are you combing your hair there? Is that conveniently where your part is? Okay, so switch that. Switch your part every week then. Switch it to the other side, like I do. Yeah. Push your hair down once in a while instead of to the side or back. Retrain your hair to be relaxed, and the because you're relieving tension there. The point is you're just over time training your hair not to grow in those spots. Your body triggers that genetic thing where it thinks you don't want hair there, because throughout evolution we've just started combing our hair and being inside and needing it less. So yeah, there's another recommendation, but the point is, yeah, I mean, like, obviously it's still part of genetics. It's still part of genetics, but you can trigger that. Like I said, you can trigger that genetic thing, mutation. They call it a mutation, but I mean, like, just whatever it is that you have in your DNA that isn't good can be triggered, and you can do it. Cancer, there's those chemicals or whatever, and whatever it is that you're eating a whole shitload of that's known to be linked to this type of cancer, and that you have cancer in your family or whatever, and you're eating a shitload of this thing that's linked to this type of cancer. Stop eating that thing. Just do it right now. Jeez. So I mean, obvious, that one's obvious, but sometimes they're not so obvious. And you have to realize, like, a lot of stuff isn't, like, in health and beauty and stuff like that, isn't what it's supposed to be for. People just started using it in excess because it made them look or feel good, so they used it more than they should. And then the public systems started changing how they would be forthright, I think, about that, if that makes sense. So, for example, combing your hair. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that taking a plastic thing with ridges on to your scalp, yanking on your hair and pressing against a healthy thing to do? I'm literally just asking a question. When presented with it that way, do you think that taking something with little plastic teeth on it, yanking on your hair and pressing is a good idea for your health as a regular thing every day to do? Do you think that's a good idea? Because I personally don't. I personally think that the capillary veins on my scalp are a little bit too important for me to be constantly breaking almost every single one of them just to comb my hair every day. Okay. Starting to get what I'm saying? Look at it like this. Look at it like this. Would you take your fingers and scrape it against your arm for several minutes a day? Your fingernails. Would you take your fingernails and just suddenly start scraping your arm for several minutes every day? Would you just randomly do that? And if you did, would you think, if, like, all of a sudden you started to notice, like, dry skin and kind of like a rash on your arm and the hair not showing up as much anymore, would you kind of expect that? Or would you see it and be like, why did that happen? I think you expect it, right? So I think it's just the sort of thing where it's become where people think these everyday things that they use are actually good and that they should use them regularly, and I submit to you, no. I submit to you that Your everyday life, things you use throughout the day are often actually unhealthy and used incorrectly. For example, Q-tips. Are Q-tips intended for your ear? No. It's not what they're for. You are never to put anything in your ears. Why are you putting something in your ear? No. It's not what they're for. They're for cleaning and for basic medical needs. You know, like cleaning up a wound or something like that. Maybe. But you know, like it's a precision tool for it. That's all. That's the point. It's not to jam it in your ear. Yeah, I mean, like, you get a little bit on the outside, a little excess wax there. All right, get a Q-tip. But the excess wax that's on the tip there is not for your ear. It's not what it's for. Literally. So that's a good example of something that people don't know about. What you have to realize is that a lot of these companies will make a product and make you think, you know, oh, well, this is great, you know, but maybe it's not, you know, and you got to have the wits about you to question everything, but question it correctly. You know, don't question something that's like sort of obvious. Question the things that are between the lines, and that's where I'm at with you know, like just a lot of that stuff. The amount of chemicals that are in like shampoo and like it's gotten better, but it's still pretty bad. For a while there, it was like you couldn't even get all natural stuff unless you paid like $15 a bottle, and now I'm glad, like, you know, we've gotten to the point where we have alternatives. You know, we don't have to put just chemicals on our skin if we don't want to, you know. So it's nice that we have the selections now, but now it's about you know, educating and getting to the point where people regularly realize that, you know, well, for example, let me say it like this. If Google didn't exist, like let's say the other way around. Do you think that anybody could use Google if they weren't educated? So let's fast forward to like Wall-E days, right? Everybody's fat and floating on some little thing on a spaceship, yada yada yada. Google does everything for you. You don't have to know anything anymore. Here's the problem. If you're not educated and you don't know anything, how do you know what to ask Google? How would you know? You wouldn't know what to ask it. You would actually be very confused. You wouldn't know anything's wrong because you don't know what right is. So the point that I'm trying to make is people think, you know, oh, we have Google for everything now. Why do we need? No, we don't need more education, yada yada. No, that's not true. We need more, because with the age of information comes the age of misinformation too. And you have to realize just how bad it's gotten. And you know, the fact that everybody, you know, I mean, like these days you can't even get somebody to remember an address. You can't even, like, people look things up, they'll just be like, oh, what's the name of the place? You know, like remember back in the day you'd had to remember an address? You know, like you'd actually have to remember that shit. And you know, like all kinds of stuff. You know, like people don't have to even remember shit anymore. And so like the point is, our education has only even gotten worse, as you can tell. So when that's the case, when the education has only even gotten worse, the point is we should get smarter than the tech. We should be going the other way, because again, we need to be able to ask Google the right question. We have to know what is going wrong in order to ask the right question to get the right answer. Otherwise, you won't know that there's something wrong. So, you know, it's exactly like what we just talked about with it's exactly like that. Like, if you never knew, that's the point. Like if you never knew those things that I told you, you know, about you know, the genetics and stuff like that, well, you wouldn't have known to look that up, to research it anymore, to know that that's, you know, what would cause those things. It's genetics. Okay, so then I know what to know. I you know, I mean, like, you know, the point is you would know what to look for. That's it. You know, you would have that knowledge to be able to do that. Otherwise, you can't. Otherwise, you're just like, duh. And then you have to ask somebody. So, well, then you're not really looking something up, you're asking somebody, you know? So, you can't do the research yourself and arrive at the correct conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, educated people do research. Now, that's the point. Proper research actually does take education. You can't do research on your own. You have to know how to research too. That's kind of the point. And folks don't know how to research, because that's the point. Folks will do research and they'll be like, I found the answer, and then they'll be like, no, they're just lying. That's a fake site. They're literally just making shit up. Oh. Okay. So like that's the point. Like they'll just find like the first one and be like, that's it, you know, and it's you know, as we know, the first answer on Google isn't always necessarily the correct one. And then, you know, using Gemini, using the AI only goes so far. Obviously, once again, you have to ask the right question. So, you know, you ask the wrong question, I mean, flat out, it's not going to answer it correctly. It's not going to answer it the way you would want it to, because you're not asking the right question. What are we doing, guys? Any games on Game Pass that I should play? Or anything like that? Maybe I'll just play the DLC. We'll see. Yeah, so that new DLC is awesome. I'm just like thinking about like how Monday is normally our day for achievements. So just thinking maybe wait, since we're probably doing Monday. But we definitely need something to play. Right. I mean, I think we're doing it. I want to stream with you guys. I want to stream. Are we going to have a bigger turnout, or is YouTube going to be a little weird? again. YouTube was weird on this one. Like, they didn't initially give me a bunch, but eventually we got a bunch. Not that that's bad, I'm just saying, like, it took a little bit on this one. Oh, there's a yawn. There's one. Yeah, I'm not tired. Yawning is just lack of oxygen to the brain. I'm sitting down, to be fair. Playing with some lights that were quite bright. What time is it for y'all? It's after 10. It's after 10 p.m. here. After 10 p.m. here. But it's Saturday. It's a Saturday night. It's a Saturday. Isn't that how it goes? Alright guys, well, I'll probably do a stream. That's why I got the drink. Alright guys, probably do a stream. I'm just gonna figure out what I feel like playing. We played Zombie Army, right? Zombie something 4. That's really good. It's really good. I actually really like it. There's definitive like weirdness to the headshot mechanic. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. But other than that, like, I really like the game. You guys remember that, right? Like, we were like getting all those headshots, and it was like really weird because like We're definitively getting headshots. But then like it's like in, Killing Floor 2 does it once in a while too, but not nearly as often. Where basically like you shoot them like point blank right in the head, but it just goes through the throat. Just like goes right through it, doesn't count it. It's really weird. So then obviously that lowers accuracy because you're just basically counting as like hitting the wall, you know. So I wonder why it does that. It's really weird. But like Killing Floor 2 does it once in a while too. It's not like I haven't seen that before in a zombie shooter. I actually have seen that pretty commonly, but usually if I see it like once a run through. You know, like play a map, I see it one time. And I'm like, oh, okay, I've seen that before. Cold War, because I think Cold War even did it. I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure it's happened to me in Cold War as well. You know, zombie. I used to play Outbreak all the time, so love the Outbreak mode. Maps are pretty cool. Some of them. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll try to get on a stream. And I just got to figure out what I feel like playing, but we'll jump on a stream, and I'll see you guys then. I know it's a little late though, so I'm gonna try to get on there as soon as I can. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Thanks for watching.